In this video, I'll be covering the basics of guitar maintenance that are important for guitarists of all skill levels to know. Hey everyone, my name is Jonah Krull, and I want to take this chance to welcome you to my channel where we do tech reviews, recording tips, and creativity vlogs for musicians and anyone else in the creative field. So for the past 5 years or so, I've had the opportunity to teach guitar, bass, and all kinds of other things at Matt's Music, which has been a staple music shop in the Western New York area for about 50 years. In my 5 years of teaching there's been a very common scenario. And the scenario goes something like this. Yeah, so I forgot to practice this week, and oh yeah, my guitar doesn't sound right. Well, did you plug it in? Yeah, and it kind of sounds, you know, like like that. Oh, and when I play a note on that one fret, it kind of sounds like, you know. Well. So when do I get to play Back in Black? Okay, so it doesn't go exactly like that, but I do gotta say that there have been many times where my students come in all freaked out because there's something not sounding right with their instrument. They thought they broke it. When in reality, most of the time it's a really simple fix that they themselves could do at home if they only knew how. So that's why I wanted to make this video, so that I could give every single guitarist, bassist, whatever you play, the chance to be able to take care of your instrument and be able to prevent things from happening that you would have to take to a repair shop. Now just a precursor, this is not a comprehensive video. There's lots of different things that go into guitar maintenance that I won't be able to cover in this quick of a video. I'll make future videos that will dive deeper into some of these topics, but overall, this is gonna be a very cursory glance at things that you can do at home with relatively few tools. If you don't feel comfortable with something in this video, please take it to a repairman who you can trust will take care of it properly. That being said, I've built most of my electric guitars, and I've fixed all of my guitars at one point myself. I've had no formal training in guitar repair, I'm just a nerd who spent a lot of time reading books, trying things out, watching YouTube videos, much like this one, and experimenting, and there have been a lot of guitars that I've messed up in my experimentation. I at least encourage you to try these out because they're not as scary as they may seem. And if you want to see more videos like this, please like this video and subscribe to this channel where we post videos like this regularly. All right, let's pass it over to the workbench. Ooh, that didn't sound good. Okay, so we're here at the workbench, but I want to start by saying you don't need an actual workbench to work on your guitars. I picked this spot because this is more professional than where I usually work on my guitars, which is sitting on my futon with my guitar sitting on my old trunk. And we also have a very simplistic tool set. Now there's a couple things that you probably don't have at home that I would just recommend you buy, but you don't need them. Most of the tools we're gonna use today, you probably have in your home. So we're gonna start by talking about preventative maintenance. Now you wouldn't wait until your car blew a gasket to get the oil changed, right? Well, it's the same with our guitars. We wanna do continual maintenance to try to prevent anything bad from happening. Now with guitars, the best preventative maintenance you can do starts with the strings. You want to regularly wipe down your strings just to keep the finger oil off of them, because if you don't, then it'll corrode your strings twice as quick and you'll have to change them more often, or your guitar will start sounding real awful real fast. Now I'm not sponsored by them, so this is completely just my opinion, but I love to clean my strings with this GHS Fast Fret. Super easy, it costs like $6 or $7 I think, and it lasts a long time. I've had this for over a year and it's still going strong. Now how often you actually need to change your strings really depends on how often you play your guitar, what kind of strings you use, and if you keep them clean or not. But despite all of these factors, I recommend at the very least changing your strings every 6 months. I change mine every 2 months at the max because I play my guitars every day. I also recommend spending a little extra money on some higher brand strings. Now you don't need to spend crazy money. My strings cost $11 or $12 a pack, but if I really wanted to, they could stretch and last me 6 or more months if I cleaned them and kept them well. You can also tell if your strings need to be changed by feeling the unwound strings. That would be the skinnier strings on the guitar. If they feel extremely rough, if they physically look dark when they're supposed to be lighter colored, chances are that they need to be replaced. And also, if all the strings just look corroded in any spots, it never hurts to change them. When in doubt, change the strings because it's not expensive. I'll make a separate video teaching you how you can change your strings at home with no tools. And while your strings are off, you want to take the opportunity to make sure that you get all the dust and all the grime out from underneath the fretboard and anywhere else that the strings make it kind of tough to clean on a regular basis. This will make it easier to play and keep your guitar in better shape. Last thing you want to do is make sure that all the screws and nuts are properly tightened on your guitar. You don't want to over tighten them, but you just want to make sure that they're snug, they're not going anywhere, because if they're not, then certain pieces can get loose, and especially the electronic components can start to go pretty quickly if they're not tightened regularly. Now that we've covered preventative maintenance, let's talk about some of the most common problems that guitars can face. Number one, fret buzz. It's a super common problem. It happens regularly to guitars that don't get maintained enough, and it can be affected by lots of things, including the weather. The weather is usually the biggest culprit when it comes to fret buzz. What happens is humidity and temperature can actually make a guitar's neck bend backwards or up. And if it bends up, it's gonna make those frets buzz. So what do we do to fix this? Well, the easiest thing to do is do a truss rod adjustment. So what is a truss rod? A truss rod is a pole that actually goes through the neck. It starts at the top here and it ends down here at the heel. And what it does, it has a little nut on either or both ends. And what it does is it either bends the neck backwards or up to compensate for that weather change that we were talking about. This guitar, we adjust it from over here. There's usually a plate here, but I've already taken it off. All you need to do is find a little Allen key that fits, put it in there, and then you can turn it one way, slowly. Now I'd say turn like a quarter at a time. So you see how I just turn it from the top to about that way. And then I would take it out, retune it, and then see if the fret buzz is fixed. Now you turn it one way to make the neck go down and another way to make the neck go up. See, I already forgotten. I need to look it up in this book. Okay, here it is. If it's buzzing and you adjust it from this side, you want to turn it to the left, so you want to loosen it. So this way, the strings higher and make the fret buzz go away. This also will fix if the strings are too high. If the strings are too high, then what you want to do is you want to put it in there and you want to tighten it. This will bring the strings closer and it might make it buzz more, but it'll also make it easier to play if your strings are sitting way too high. Again, I repeat, you only want to turn it little by little, then retune it because this will detune the strings, see where it's at, and then adjust it more repeatedly until it's where you like. Okay, that first one was very long. This next one is gonna be much quicker, much simpler. Number two, it won't tune smoothly. That's such a frustrating thing. You're trying to tune your guitar and it goes, and it's just, that was such a great impression. I'm proud of myself for that one. Again, there are so many things that could go wrong if that's the case. Your tuners could be shot, could be a problem with the bridge, but more likely than not, it's usually just a problem of the nut not being lubricated enough. There's different ways you can fix this, but there's a really simple one that you can do at home with no tools. As long as you have a pencil, preferably a mechanical one, you can fix this. Let me show you. So if your strings won't tune smoothly, you want to detune them, pull the string off. This is the nut, by the way. Now, all you have to do is you take a little like mechanical pencil or something like that. You just put some pencil lead in there. And what this is gonna do is this is gonna smooth out the strings so that when you tune the string, when it goes across the nut, it's just gonna go smoother. So chances are, nice and smooth. There we go. Last and most common problem that people face is electronic buzzing. And this is one of the most intimidating because you're like, I'm not an electrician. I can't do this. This is so scary. What if I get shocked and die? Well, guess what? Most of the time, it's something that you don't even need to take the guitar apart and mess with the wires to fix. And again, if you don't feel comfortable with this, take this to a repairman or someone who's done this before. But if you're feeling brave, let's check this out. Most of the time, the problem is a loose jack or a loose pot, and sometimes they can also get dirty. And let's turn over here and I'll show you what you want to do. First thing you want to do is you want to just check all these with it plugged in. See if when you turn a knob, it gets a little bit more dirty. Wiggle them around to see if there's any that are loose. Oh, this one's definitely loose. And also check this. This is the jack, the part that you actually plug the guitar into, because most of the time, the problem is when this gets loose. When this gets loose, yeah, you see that's loose there. When that gets loose, there's a lot of chances it's going to bump up against other electronic components and make that buzzing that we were talking about. An easy fix for this, you just take this and you tighten it. You can also do this with a set of pliers. You can even do this with your finger. Look, I'm just gonna do this with my finger. Boom, already fixed. And with the knobs, all you gotta do is pop that off. It's a little plastic cap. Do the same thing. You just tighten it a little bit. Do it with your hands. There you go. If you did that and didn't fix the problem, the pot or the jack or even the switch might be dirty. So what you can do, take some contact cleaner, make sure it's actual electric contact cleaner. I know this says WD-40, don't use regular WD-40, trust me. Now all you do, is take it, and you just spray a little on there. And then you turn around, and you're trying to get the contact cleaner to soak in there so the internal components get lubricated. And see, it's already way easier to do. Do the same thing in here. You just spray in there, just give it a second. And you can do that with anything. Problem with the switch, you can do the same thing, just a little bit. Wiggle it around there, and then I'll clean the contacts. The only thing that you don't want to do that with is the pickups. The pickups are extremely sensitive, they're magnetic. Don't mess with those. If you're having problems with your pickups, take it to a repair person. Like I said though, this is by no means comprehensive. There are so many factors that go into a guitar's maintenance that sometimes it can actually be multiple issues or something that we didn't even cover in this video. But again, I've found that over the years, most of these things that we covered in this video are the problem. Even more of the time, it's something that is a very simple fix that can be done on the spot. And now you yourself have the power to be your guitar's first line of defense when something goes wrong. And again, don't be too afraid to do these things. We learn by experimenting, and we also learn by our mistakes. And trust me, I've made lots of mistakes when I've been fixing up my guitars. But that's how I've learned and gotten to where I am now. So let me know down in the comments if there are any other topics you'd like me to cover, or if you have any questions about this. Again, my name is Jonah Crow. I'll see you next time.